Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the silence of the night sky stretching above you. Stars twinkle like distant campfires, but behind their gentle shimmer lies a deeper story. A story not of chaos, but of arrangement, of hidden hands shaping the universe into the web of beauty we see. The light you glimpse tonight may have left its home millions of years ago, yet it arrives with a message. Stars are not random. They gather, they sculpt, they design the very shape of the cosmos. Every faint glow overhead is a brushstroke in a painting so large our minds can barely hold it. Tonight, let us drift into that story. From the first quiet sparks of starlight to the grand patterns they weave across the dark. A quiet spark in the dark. The beginning of stars was not loud, not fiery, but quiet. Imagine a vast ocean of darkness, silent and still, where only hydrogen and helium drifted like whispers after the Big Bang. Then, slowly, gravity began pulling these atoms together, folding them into hidden pockets. There was no fanfare, only pressure mounting in silence until the very first star breathed its light. That spark changed everything. The dark was no longer empty. It had a heartbeat. And that heartbeat would multiply. Stars do not appear like fireworks. They emerge in patience, hidden inside blankets of dust and gas, unseen until their light breaks free. Each spark is fragile at first, as though the universe is deciding whether to allow it to exist. But once it does, the glow becomes unstoppable, radiating in every direction. Imagine being there, in that silent black sea, watching the very first star appear. The contrast of light against infinite dark must have been breathtaking. From that moment onward, darkness was never the same. Light was born not once, but as a promise that the universe would be shaped by these luminous points. Each new star was not simply an object, but a declaration that emptiness could carry form. And slowly a balance began to emerge between the pull of gravity and the push of light. The first sparks were rare, scattered across vast distances, but even in their loneliness they had a kind of order. They pulled the gases around them, sculpting the space nearby, bending the invisible fabric. The very act of shining was not just illumination, it was arrangement. A star cannot exist without shaping what surrounds it. That quiet spark in the dark is a more than history. Every star you see tonight is repeating that same story, rising from silence, glowing into being, and shaping its corner of the universe. Each one is both a light and an architect. The first stars whispered into being. The very first stars, known as population 3 stars, were unlike anything that followed. They were giants, massive beyond our modern suns, living fast and burning bright. They did not whisper in sound, but in their presence, for their light was the first voice of the cosmos. When they appeared, the universe was still young, a canvas waiting for its design. These stars became its first brushstrokes. Their lives were short. Some lasted only a few million years, mere heartbeats compared to the calm age of our sun. But in that time, they created the first heavy elements. Until then, the universe had only hydrogen and helium. With every fusion, they built carbon, oxygen, and iron, the very elements that would one day form us. Without those whispers of the first stars, life itself would not have been possible. The light of those early stars traveled unopposed through the darkness, carving pathways across the void. Imagine being in that era. No galaxies, no constellations, just scattered blazing giants, lonely yet powerful. They were storytellers, even without words. Their whispers were written in light, carrying the seeds of creation forward into time. When these stars ended their lives, they did not fade gently. They exploded, scattering their heavy treasures across the young universe. These explosions were not destruction, they were announcements. Every burst was like a whisper becoming a shout, saying, "Here, take this and build!" Out of their endings came the raw material for all future stars, planets, and eventually us. The universe listened to their whispers. It carried their ashes into new clouds, into new generations of stars, into new shapes. And slowly, the whispers became a chorus, echoing across billions of years, arranging what was once formless into form. Hydrogen's gentle dance of fusion. At the heart of every star, the simplest atom, hydrogen, performs a quiet miracle. It fuses, joining with its twin to form helium, releasing energy that becomes light and warmth. This dance of fusion is delicate, requiring immense pressure and heat, but when it begins, it is unstoppable. Hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe, becomes the fuel that shapes everything. It is easy to forget how fragile this process really is. For fusion to start, conditions must be perfect. Gravity must squeeze tightly, heat must rise to millions of degrees. Then in a moment almost imperceptible, the reaction begins. Two tiny particles overcome their natural resistance and unite. That single act of union creates the power of a star. Out of simplicity comes grandeur. This gentle dance repeats endlessly, billions of times, every second in every star. Each fusion a spark, each spark a contribution to the glow that reaches our eyes. It feels almost poetic, the universe arranging itself from the smallest step, hydrogen meeting hydrogen, into the grandest shapes. The smallest becomes the largest. Fusion is not loud, though its results are brilliant. It is steady, controlled, balanced between creation and collapse. Without it, stars would be cold and lifeless. With it, they become engines of light, sustaining galaxies, sculpting the flow of matter, and writing the chemistry of life. It is the dance that sustains everything we know. When you look up tonight, remember, the light that touches you is the result of hydrogen's patient dance, a dance that began long before us and will continue long after. The universe is not only vast, it is graceful, moving always to this hidden rhythm, the pressure that holds the light inside. Every star is a struggle between two forces, gravity pulling in and pressure pushing out. And if gravity won, the star would collapse. If pressure won, the star would tear itself apart. But stars are masters of balance. Deep inside, the fusion of hydrogen releases energy, and that energy pushes outward. Gravity, ever patient, pulls inward. The two forces meet, and in that meeting, the shape of a star is held. This balance is delicate, but it is also resilient. A star can hold this tension for billions of years, glowing steadily as long as the balance remains. It is almost like breathing, in and out, pull and push, but at a cosmic scale. The light we see is not effortless. It is the visible sign of a hidden battle within. The beauty of stars lies in this balance. Their round shape, their steady shine, is proof that harmony can exist even in struggle. It's a lesson written in the fabric of the universe. Creation does not come from one force alone, but from the dance between opposites. Without gravity, fusion would never start. Without pressure, gravity would consume. Together, they create light. And as this balance holds, it shapes the cosmos beyond. Stars cluster, galaxies form, and the grand arrangement continues. The stability inside a single star ripples outward, influencing everything else. The struggle of a star is not private, it is shared, it is written into the arrangement of the universe itself. When you sit beneath the stars, you are watching harmony in action, a balance so perfect it can last longer than civilizations, longer than worlds. The pressure that holds the light inside is the same that allows the universe to shine. Gravity's patient grip on fire. Gravity has no voice, no light of its own, yet it shapes stars more than anything else. It is gravity that gathers gas into clouds, gravity that squeezes atoms close enough to ignite fusion, gravity that holds the fire of a star together for billions of years. Without gravity, starlight would never exist. It is the invisible sculptor of the cosmos. Unlike fire on Earth, which consumes and destroys, stellar fire is contained. Gravity grips it, curving it inward, shaping it into a sphere that radiates evenly. Imagine holding a flame in your hand, not letting it spread, but allowing it to burn steadily forever. That is what gravity does on a cosmic scale. It does not smother the fire. It tames it. This patience is remarkable. Gravity does not rush. It waits, it collects, it builds pressure slowly. A star may take millions of years to form, and yet gravity never falters. It is tireless, always pulling, always arranging. In that sense, every star you see tonight is not just fire. It is fire gripped by patience. The shape of the universe reflects this hidden patience. Galaxies, clusters, even the vast cosmic web are all sculpted by gravity's quiet persistence. Stars may shine brightly, but gravity is the reason they shine at all. It is the hand that steadies the flame, the thread that ties the light into patterns. And so when you look at the night sky, remember that behind every star's glow is gravity's grip. Silent, invisible, patient. Fire may dazzle the eye, but it is gravity that arranges the universe. The birth of shapes, hidden in starlight. When stars begin to gather, they no longer exist alone. Their gravity tugs on one another, and soon shapes begin to form. Clouds of dust curl into spirals, clusters stretch into arcs, and vast patterns slowly emerge from what looks, at first, like randomness. What seems like scattered sparks are actually part of a hidden design. The starlight we see is the surface of something deeper. Shapes held together by invisible bonds waiting for patient eyes to notice. The hidden shapes are not drawn in straight lines. They curve, bend, and weave as though the universe prefers softness over rigidity. You can see it in spiral galaxies, in the graceful arcs of clusters, in the filaments threading the cosmic web. Light traces these patterns like chalk on dark canvas. Stars, in their glowing silence, reveal the outlines of the structures they belong to. They are both the paint and the painter. The shapes of starlight are not always obvious to us. To an ancient shepherd, they looked like constellations of animals and gods. To scientists, they reveal the geometry of gravity and time. Both are true in their own way because shapes are always about the stories we find within them. The stars provide the pattern, and the human mind supplies meaning. Every hidden arrangement whispers something about balance. Stars never scatter without reason. Their light curves where matter bends space. Their groups reveal where gravity has drawn lines we cannot see. Behind each shining dot is a thread stretching out, pulling it into form. The shapes are not accidents. They are the quiet handwriting of the universe. And so when you gaze at the sky, you are not looking at randomness. You are seeing shapes born in starlight, ancient outlines that extend far beyond your vision. The universe is sketching itself into being, one shining line at a time. Clusters form like families in the sky. Stars rarely live alone. They are born together in nurseries from the same clouds bound by the same gravity. Over time, these groups drift, but many stay near each other, forming clusters. Some are loose and scattered, like the Pleiades. Others are tight and ancient, like globular clusters, holding hundreds of thousands of stars in a single embrace. They are cosmic families linked across ages. There is comfort in the way clusters move together. They orbit within galaxies like flocks, each star still tied to its siblings by gravity's thread. Even when millions of years pass and some drift away, the heart of the family remains. To look at a cluster is to see belonging on a cosmic scale. Clusters also shape the galaxies around them. Their combined gravity pulls at nearby matter, influencing the paths of other stars, bending their courses ever so slightly. In this way, families of stars become architects themselves, leaving subtle signatures in the galactic arrangement. The whole sky is not just made of individuals, it is made of collectives. And just as in human families, clusters carry memory. Some contain the oldest stars in the universe, fossils of light that tell us how the cosmos began. Others are young, filled with hot, blue stars that burn fiercely and fast. Every cluster is a time capsule, keeping the record of its family's journey. When you see a group of stars shimmering close together, think of them as companions. Not chance neighbors, but kin that share the same birthplace, the same cosmic nursery. The sky holds countless families, each carrying the quiet warmth of togetherness. A cosmic web begins to stretch. As stars gather into clusters and clusters gather into galaxies, something larger emerges. A web stretching across the universe itself. This cosmic web is not visible to the naked eye, but its structure is vast. Filaments of galaxies connected like threads in a net, spanning billions of light years. Stars, though tiny compared to the whole, are the glowing beads strung along its strands. The web is born from gravity's patient tug, pulling matter into filaments while leaving great empty voids in between. It looks like lace, delicate yet immense, where light traces the edges and darkness fills the spaces. To imagine it is to see the universe not as scattered islands, but as one great net, woven from light and silence. Every filament of the cosmic web carries the memory of star formation. Galaxies align along these threads, guided by dark matter's hidden scaffolding, and within each galaxy, stars arrange themselves in spirals, clusters, and disks, smaller patterns echoing the larger one. The design repeats like music, carrying the same theme in many variations. To drift through the cosmic web would be like wandering an endless forest of light. Galaxies would loom like trees, clusters would sparkle like flowers, and the empty voids would stretch like valleys of silence. The arrangement is too large for us to truly see, but science has traced its outline, revealing what our eyes alone cannot. This web is the grandest arrangement of all. It shows that stars are not just isolated flames, but part of a vast interwoven fabric. Their light stitches the universe together, one glowing thread after another. Stars as architects of galactic spirals. Spiral galaxies, like our own Milky Way, are perhaps the most graceful shapes the universe offers. Stars arrange themselves into arms, curling outward in flowing arcs, as though the cosmos prefers rhythm to randomness. These spirals are not accidental. They are the result of countless stars moving together, each influenced by gravity, each part of the dance. The stars themselves are the architects, laying down the design with their orbits. What gives a spiral its beauty is motion. Stars closer to the center move faster, while those farther out move slower. This difference in speed stretches the stars into arms, creating the appearance of a swirl. Over time, these arms are refreshed by waves of star formation, keeping the spiral alive and luminous. The shape is both ancient and ever new. The arms are not solid structures, but patterns, like traffic jams that keep forming and dissolving, yet remain in the same place. New stars light up along these arms, while older stars drift out, keeping the spiral visible. The architecture is not fixed, but constantly maintained by the flow of stars and gas. Spirals are more than pretty designs. They guide matter inward, feeding central black holes, nurturing new star clusters, shaping the evolution of the galaxy itself. The arrangement of stars becomes the skeleton of the entire galaxy, influencing how it grows, how it shines, how it lasts. When you see an image of a spiral galaxy, remember, that shape is not imposed from outside. It is created by the stars themselves through their motion, their births, their deaths. The spiral is their architecture, drawn in light, designed by collective motion. The balance between order and collapse. Every star, every cluster, every galaxy exists in a delicate balance. Gravity wants to pull everything inward into collapse. Energy, from fusion and motion, pushes outward, holding collapse at bay. The result is order. Stars arranged into shapes, galaxies sustained for billions of years. Without that balance, the universe would be chaos. With it, we have beauty. Sometimes the balance tips. A star too massive collapses into a black hole. A galaxy collides with another, reshaping itself in the process. Collapse is not always destruction, like it is rearrangement. The order breaks only to create a new order. The cosmos thrives on this balance, like a breath that includes both inhale and exhale. Even the spirals we admire are results of this tension. Without gravity, stars would scatter apart. Without energy, they would collapse inward. The spiral is the compromise, the middle path where both forces meet. Order and collapse are not enemies. They are partners, shaping the grand arrangement together. This balance exists everywhere, even within us. The atoms in our bodies were once forged in stars that balanced gravity and fusion. Their collapse scattered the elements that now make our bones and blood. We are, in a way, the children of balance, living reminders of that cosmic dance. When you look at the stars, see not only their glow, but the balance holding them there. The universe arranges itself between extremes, and in that balance, it finds harmony. How heat flows into empty silence. Every star burns with a heart of fire. But what happens to all that heat? It doesn't stay trapped. It flows outward, spilling into the coldness of space. Unlike on Earth, where warmth meets resistance, in space there is no air, no matter, only silence. So the heat becomes light, radiating endlessly, spreading thinner and thinner until it vanishes into the background of the universe. That flow is not wasted. It is the quiet exchange that allows stars to shine across billions of light years. This journey of heat is what connects us to distant suns. The warmth of our sun takes just over 8 minutes to reach us, crossing 93 million miles of emptiness without a single obstacle. And yet when it arrives, it shapes everything. The light in your room, the food you eat, the very breath you take. Each beam is a thread of connection, carrying the silent energy of fusion from the heart of a star into the fabric of life. In deep space, the flow of heat becomes even more delicate. A star's light may travel for thousands of years before touching another object. The further it goes, the dimmer it becomes until only a whisper of energy remains. Still, that whisper matters. Entire galaxies glow faintly, not because of their brightness, but because countless whispers overlap, creating a background of warmth against the cold. The silence of space is not empty. It is filled with the echoes of stars. Every photon that leaves a star adds to the glow, layering across time, creating a faint yet endless sea of light. That background radiation is a quiet reminder that nothing disappears completely. Energy flows, spreads, and becomes part of the universe's tapestry. And so when you feel the warmth of sunlight on your skin, you are touching the silence of space. The gift of a star carried across emptiness, softened into comfort. The heat does not roar as it travels, it hums, filling the void with invisible music. Stars breathing elements into space. Stars are not just lights, they are breathers exhaling the ingredients of existence into the cosmos. In their hearts, hydrogen becomes helium, helium becomes carbon, and so on step by step, until entire tables of elements are created. But these elements don't remain locked inside forever. They are carried outward by stellar winds, shed into space like seeds drifting from a tree. Every breath of a star enriches the universe, making it ready for worlds, oceans, and life. When you look at the periodic table, know that most of those elements were born inside stars. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, all once lived in a stellar furnace. Stars forged them quietly, tirelessly over millions of years, until the day comes when they release them into space. Their breath is not waste, it is generosity. The universe becomes richer with every exhalation. Sometimes the breath is gentle. A star like our sun blows out its outer layers over billions of years, creating planetary nebulae, shells of glowing gas expanding like halos. Other times, the breath is violent, as in a supernova explosion, where elements are hurled across galaxies in a storm of fire. Both ways serve the same purpose, to scatter creation into the dark. This stellar breathing ensures that no star lives for itself alone. Each contributes to the greater whole, leaving behind clouds from which new stars and planets can form. The cycle of life is not limited to Earth. It is written into the cosmos. Stars breathe, die, and through that, they give birth again. Take a slow breath tonight, and remember you are inhaling what once was starlight. The same oxygen that fuels your lungs was once exhaled by a star. Perhaps billions of years ago, stars breathe, and in that breath, they make us possible. The sculpting power of supernova winds. When massive stars end their lives, they do not go quietly. They collapse inward, then explode outward in a supernova, releasing winds so powerful they can reshape entire regions of space. These winds sweep through clouds of gas and dust, compressing some areas, dispersing others. In doing so, they carve new shapes like a sculptor striking marble with a hammer. What begins as destruction becomes creation. The winds trigger new stars to form in the very clouds they disturb. Supernova winds travel at astonishing speeds, spreading material across light years. They carry heavy elements forged in the dying star's core, scattering them into the interstellar medium. Each gust becomes a delivery of ingredients: carbon, oxygen, iron, essentials for future worlds. It is as if the universe relies on these winds to keep the cycle of life turning, ensuring nothing ends without beginning again. The shock waves from these explosions ripple outward, lighting up nebulae in colors we can see through telescopes. These clouds glow not from their own power, but from the energy imparted by the winds. In them we see the fingerprints of the sculptor's hand, curves, arcs, and ripples etched into the canvas of space. Beauty rises directly out of violence. Yet despite their power, these winds are not random. They follow the logic of physics, shaping space in ways that sustain order. Some clouds collapse under the pressure, birthing new generations of stars. Others are thinned out, leaving room for galaxies to breathe. Even in chaos, a pattern emerges, a balance between scattering and gathering, between death and rebirth. If you ever wonder whether endings can hold beauty, remember the sculpting winds of supernovae. They remind us that even in collapse, there is design. Even in destruction, there is arrangement. The universe is not afraid of endings because it knows each ending carves the path for something new. Heavy atoms as silent building blocks. The universe began with only hydrogen and helium, but life requires far more: carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, iron, gold. These heavy atoms are the silent building blocks of everything solid, everything alive, and they all come from stars. Through fusion and explosive deaths, stars create the bricks with which the cosmos constructs itself. Without them, there would be no planets, no soil, no oceans, no bodies. Only gas and silence. These heavy atoms spread quietly, mixing into vast interstellar clouds. Over millions of years, they gather into new systems where they become parts of planets, moons, and living things. Imagine iron atoms from an ancient star drifting for eons, only to end up inside the blood of a bird or the nail on your finger. The connection between stars and life is not metaphorical. It is physical, woven into every cell of you. Some atoms, like carbon, form the backbone of life's molecules. Others, like silicon, shape the rocks beneath our feet. Still others, like uranium, store energy deep in the earth. All of them, without exception, were born in stellar furnaces. Stars are not just lights. They are factories, tirelessly producing the material for the universe's architecture. These atoms are silent because they do not boast of their origins. They sit quietly in our world, part of our bodies, our breath, our food, our homes. Yet each carries a story billions of years old. Every grain of sand, every drop of water, every bone is a page from the book of starlight. To know this is to see the ordinary differently. A glass of water is no longer simple. It is ancient hydrogen-fused oxygen carried by stars, arranged into liquid life. The heavy atoms within us are silent, yes, but they are also profound reminders that we are children of the stars, nebulae painted by ancient explosions. When stars die, they often leave behind nebulae, vast clouds of gas and dust glowing with eerie colors. These nebulae are painted by the remnants of ancient explosions. They are not uniform. They swirl in blues, reds, and purples, each shade revealing a different element: oxygen glowing green, hydrogen red, sulfur blue. Together they form cosmic murals, painted not with brushes, but with the ashes of stars. Some nebulae are stellar nurseries, where the compressed gas from explosions births new stars. Others are simply remnants, the torn-apart shrouds of once bright giants. Either way, they stand as monuments, evidence that stars lived, burned, and shared their substance with the universe. To look at a nebula is to read the record of an ancient event, written in light. The shapes of nebulae are fluid, sculpted by winds, gravity, and time. Some look like wings, others like eyes, others like clouds of smoke. Our imagination fills in the rest, just as it does with constellations. But behind the shapes is real structure, the matter that will one day condense into new suns and planets. Every glowing wisp is future potential. Nebulae are among the most beautiful sights we can see through telescopes. They remind us that destruction is not final. It can be transformed into beauty. The colors, the shapes, the glow, all are temporary arrangements, shifting slowly as time stretches on. What you see tonight will not look the same in a million years. The painting is always being repainted, so when you see the photograph of a nebula, think of it not as still art, but as a living canvas. It is painted by explosions, lit by newborn stars, and shaped by time itself. These cosmic paintings are the universe showing us that endings can be radiant. The seeds of new suns in the dust. Every star that dies leaves behind more than memories. Its dust and gas become seeds scattered into the galaxy. These seeds drift quietly, gathering slowly into dense clouds until gravity takes notice. In these clouds, the story of new suns begins. They are the children of ashes, born from the remains of their ancestors. What once was scattered finds its way into the heart of a new light. The dust is rich, carrying elements forged in stellar furnaces: carbon, oxygen, iron. These are not just ingredients for stars, but for planets, for oceans, for life itself. In a way, every sunset you've ever seen carries the memory of an older star's breath. The cycle is relentless, yet gentle. Nothing wasted, nothing forgotten. The seeds are patient. They wait until conditions are right. Some clouds collapse suddenly, triggered by the shockwave of a nearby supernova. Others take millions of years, slowly compressing until fusion begins. But the result is always the same. A new star ignites, repeating the pattern. In that ignition, the dust becomes radiant again, no longer hidden, but glowing, adding its light to the universe's tapestry. You can picture these stellar nurseries, vast regions like the Orion Nebula, where thousands of young stars shimmer among swirling dust. Each star there was once only a speck, a possibility. And now they burn with brilliance, some destined to last billions of years, others only a few million. Each new sun is both fragile and eternal, carrying forward the story of light. When you look at the night sky, remember, every shining star was once dust. Every bright flame began in silence, as a seed hidden in a cloud. The seeds of new suns remind us that even endings carry beginnings, and even dust can glow again. Gravity knitting threads across the void. Between stars, between galaxies, lies an ocean of emptiness, and yet even there, gravity is at work, knitting invisible threads across the void. These threads are not seen directly, but their influence is everywhere. They bind galaxies into clusters, clusters into superclusters, and superclusters into the cosmic web. What seems like nothing is actually a fabric pulled taut by gravity's hand. Gravity is not hurried in this knitting. It takes billions of years, pulling matter closer, weaving strands that stretch for unimaginable distances. Galaxies are beads along these threads, flowing where gravity has drawn lines. This is not chaos, but design, a slow stitching of the universe into patterns we can only glimpse. The voids, the spaces in between, are just as important. They are like the gaps in lace, giving form to the threads. Without emptiness, the threads would not stand out. Without the void, the stars would have no stage. Balance is always there, even in the largest structures. The knitting continues even now. Galaxies move along these threads, drawn by hidden dark matter. They may collide, merge, and reshape, but always along the pathways gravity has already drawn. It is as if the universe follows an ancient pattern, one it cannot deviate from, one too large for us to see in full. So when you hear the phrase cosmic web, picture more than science. Picture a fabric, endlessly woven, each thread made not of string but of starlight and gravity. We live within that fabric, part of the design, part of the knitting across the void, filaments stretching between the bright islands. The cosmic web reveals itself through filaments, vast bridges of galaxies stretching between enormous voids. These filaments are like highways, channels along which matter flows, connecting one bright island of stars to another. When you see an image of the universe's large-scale structure, you are looking at filaments spanning billions of light years, too large to fully comprehend. And yet, they are real, shaping the flow of the cosmos. These filaments are formed by gravity and dark matter together, pulling galaxies into long chains. The result is not uniform. Some filaments are thick and dense, filled with galaxies close together. Others are faint, thin, barely visible, yet still carrying structure. The universe arranges itself not in randomness, but in strands and bridges, tying everything together. Imagine standing in one galaxy, looking toward another, and knowing that somewhere between them lies a filament, an invisible road connecting the two. It would not be a straight line, but a curve, shaped by gravity's pull and the expansion of space. Galaxies do not wander aimlessly. They flow like rivers along these filaments, drawn toward the next bright island. The filaments also carry gas, feeding galaxies, allowing new stars to form. Without them, galaxies would run out of material and fade. With them, galaxies are sustained, nourished by the flow of matter across cosmic distances. These filaments are the lifelines of the universe, unseen but essential. If you could step back far enough, beyond any telescope, you would see it. A web of glowing islands connected by filaments suspended in darkness. The universe is not scattered but bound. It is one great structure, and we live inside its strands. Galaxies, nestled on invisible bridges, every galaxy, no matter how grand or humble, sits on an invisible bridge, a filament of dark matter and gas that holds it in place. Without these bridges, galaxies would drift apart, scattered into isolation, but instead they nestle into the web, anchored like pearls on a thread. Each galaxy, including our own Milky Way, owes its position to these hidden structures. Astronomers map these bridges not by seeing them directly, but by watching how galaxies move. Their paths reveal the presence of something unseen, something guiding them. And when the maps are drawn, the bridges appear. Long arcs of invisible scaffolding holding galaxies in place. The arrangement is undeniable even if our eyes cannot see it. Being nestled does not mean being static. Galaxies move along their bridges, sometimes slowly, sometimes colliding with neighbors, yet the bridges remain like riverbanks guiding the flow of water. They are the architecture beneath the visible, shaping the universe with quiet authority. The galaxies shine, but the bridges are what arrange them. These invisible bridges also determine where stars will form in the future. Denser regions attract more gas, feeding star formation, while thinner regions create quieter galaxies. The bridges, in a sense, decide which parts of the universe will glow more brightly and which will remain dim. They are the planners of cosmic light. Think of it this way: when you look up at the Milky Way, you are not just seeing stars. You are looking at a galaxy resting on a bridge of gravity, part of a structure far larger than itself. We live in a city of light, but the roads it stands on are unseen. The subtle lattice of cosmic geometry. When you piece all of this together, stars, clusters, filaments, bridges, what emerges is a lattice, a subtle geometry woven into the universe itself. It is not a geometry of perfect lines, but of curves, arcs, and threads, like the framework of an endless cathedral. The stars are not scattered by chance. They follow this lattice, arranging themselves into the grandest design imaginable. This geometry reveals itself in patterns. Spirals echo across galaxies, clusters form spherical shells, filaments stretch into repeating strands. The universe is fractal in nature, shapes repeating across scales, from the smallest clouds of dust to the largest web of galaxies. It is as if the universe prefers harmony, preferring to echo its designs over and over. Scientists trace this lattice with maps, but the beauty of it lies beyond numbers. To imagine the entire cosmos arranged in such delicate order is to realize that we live inside a structure. It is not chaos, it is architecture. The stars are bricks, the galaxies are walls, the web is the scaffolding. The geometry is everywhere, but subtle, visible only when seen from afar. The lattice also changes with time. Expansion stretches it, gravity bends it, energy flows through it. Yet through all change, the pattern holds. The structure is not fixed, but dynamic, like a breathing organism. The geometry of the universe is alive, moving, growing, shifting, but always arranged. So when you gaze upward tonight, think not just of stars, but of the lattice they form. The universe is not an empty stage, but a cathedral of light. Its geometry is subtle, but it surrounds us, cradling us within its endless design. The slow spin that shapes galaxies. Every galaxy is in motion, though it looks still to our eyes. Each one spins, slowly but surely, shaping itself through that endless turn. The Milky Way, for example, takes about 295 million years to complete just one rotation. That slow spin stretches stars into disks, curves them into arms, and sustains the shape we see. Without spin, galaxies would collapse inward or scatter outward. With it, they find their balance, like dancers twirling gently on the cosmic stage. This spin is not uniform. Stars near the center move faster, pulled by the dense core. Stars farther away move slower, yet still remain part of the whole. Together they create a graceful flow, like rivers running at different speeds but always moving in the same direction. The galaxy's shape is born from this difference, its spiral arms carved by motion itself. What we see as beauty is really physics. Rotation, turning into art. The spin also guides the flow of matter. Gas clouds are swept into arms, compressed, and ignited into new stars. Dust follows these patterns, shaping nebulae into arcs that glow under starlight. Even black holes at galactic centers rely on spin, drawing matter inward while releasing energy outward in jets. Everything is tied to the galaxy's turning. Over billions of years, the spin may change. Collisions alter the pace, new stars adjust the balance, and dark matter exerts its hidden influence. Yet the rhythm never ends. The galaxy continues to turn, patient and steady, carrying its billions of stars in a silent dance. Every spin is both ancient and new, renewing the shape while keeping its essence. And so when you picture a galaxy, think of it not as frozen but alive, spinning slowly, sculpting itself, arranging its stars into arms of light. The slow spin is the heartbeat of galaxies, and through it, the universe finds rhythm. Disks carved by invisible hands. When galaxies spin, their stars and gas settle into disks. Flat, wide shapes like cosmic plates floating in space. These disks are not carved by any tool we can see, but by the invisible hands of gravity and motion. Stars fall into orbits, gas flattens into lanes, and over time the roundness becomes unmistakable. From afar the disk glows with billions of stars, thin yet expansive, fragile yet enduring. The disk is more than shape, it is structure. Within it, stars orbit in near-perfect order, rarely colliding, rarely straying. This order gives galaxies their elegance, their symmetry. The disk holds not just stars but stories, the paths of countless suns moving in harmony. It is the frame that allows spirals to exist, the canvas where arms are painted. Our own Milky Way is such a disk, stretching more than 100,000 light-years across but only a few thousand thick. Imagine the delicacy of that proportion. Something so vast yet so thin, maintained by gravity's invisible balance. It is as though the universe prefers grace, preferring the spread of a disk to the chaos of a sphere. The disk also shapes what we can see from Earth. On a dark night, the Milky Way appears as a band of light across the sky, not because of chance, but because we are inside its disk, looking along its crowded plane. That ribbon of stars is the view, from within the structure, the inside of a cosmic masterpiece. Disks remind us that order arises naturally. Left to itself, matter arranges into balance, into curves and planes, into elegant simplicity. What looks invisible is actually inevitable, the hands of gravity working without pause, carving galaxies into enduring beauty. Ellipticals, swollen from collisions. Not all galaxies are graceful spirals. Some are swollen ellipses, smooth and rounded, their stars spread out like a soft glow. These elliptical galaxies are the result of collisions, spirals crashing together, their ordered disks disrupted, their arms torn apart. The result is less structured, but not less grand. Ellipticals shine with billions of older stars, bound into a new shape born of impact. Collisions may sound violent, but in truth, stars rarely collide. Instead, their orbits shift, their patterns rearrange. Over time, the neat spirals blur into a cloud stretched into ellipses by gravity's blending. What was once distinct becomes unified. What was once patterned becomes smooth. The shape of ellipticals is not chaos, but the quiet aftermath of encounters too vast for us to imagine. Ellipticals also hold secrets. Many contain supermassive black holes at their centers, hidden giants shaping their stars. Some are among the oldest galaxies, relics of the early universe, swollen with ancient light. Others are young, the result of recent mergers, still carrying traces of their spiral pasts. Each elliptical is both a record and a rebirth, a new shape born from old stories. They may lack the drama of spirals, but ellipticals carry a certain dignity. Their glow is steady, their outlines soft, like lanterns hanging in the cosmic night. They remind us that beauty takes many forms, not always delicate, sometimes broad and diffuse, yet no less meaningful. The universe arranges variety, not uniformity. So when you see images of elliptical galaxies, see them for what they are. Survivors of collision, swollen from encounters, reshaped into calm grandeur. Even in impact, the universe finds form. Spirals born from stellar flow. Spiral galaxies are not carved once and left alone. They are constantly renewed, born again and again from the flow of stars and gas. The arms you see in photographs are not permanent structures, but waves of density, regions where stars cluster more tightly, creating the illusion of solid spirals. It is a flow, always moving, always reshaping, yet always keeping the same graceful curve. This flow is sustained by the motion of stars at different speeds. Those nearer the core orbit quickly, those farther out orbit slowly. That difference stretches the matter into spirals like taffy pulled in opposite directions. Yet instead of breaking, the galaxy finds rhythm in this motion, keeping the arms visible over billions of years. The arms also shine with youth. New stars are constantly born within them, their hot blue light making the spirals glow brightly. Meanwhile, older stars drift outward, fading into the background. The flow ensures that spirals never dim completely. They are self-renewing, always glowing with fresh generations of stars. Without this cycle, galaxies would fade into dullness. With it, they sparkle endlessly. Spirals are not only beautiful, they are practical. The flow of gas and stars also channels material inward, feeding central black holes, shaping galactic cores, and influencing the future of the galaxy. The arrangement is not just surface decoration. It is function, guiding the life of the galaxy itself. Think of spirals as cosmic rivers carrying stars, gas, and light in endless motion. They are never the same, yet always recognizable, a reminder that form does not require stillness. In motion, too, there is design, the warping of shapes by dark matter. For all the light we see, there is more we cannot. Dark matter, invisible yet abundant, surrounds galaxies in halos, shaping their forms in ways we cannot directly observe. Without it, spirals would spin apart, their arms flung into the void. With it, galaxies are held together, their shapes preserved by unseen mass. Dark matter is the hidden architect, warping shapes without ever revealing itself. Astronomers discovered dark matter by watching stars move. The outer stars in galaxies orbit too quickly to be explained by visible matter alone. Something else, unseen, must be providing the gravity to hold them. That something is dark matter, an invisible cloak wrapping every galaxy, arranging their shapes in silence. Without it, galaxies would not exist as we know them. The halos of dark matter extend far beyond the visible disks like cocoons of gravity. They shape how galaxies interact, how clusters form, even how the cosmic web is woven. Though we cannot see them, we can trace their influence everywhere. Dark matter does not shine, but it arranges the shining. This invisible presence reminds us that the universe is not only about what we see. The shapes we admire, spirals, disks, clusters, are possible only because of the unseen scaffolding beneath them. Dark matter is the silent hand holding the structures steady, ensuring they endure for billions of years. So the next time you gaze at a galaxy, remember, the shape you see is only half the truth. Behind it lies an invisible web of dark matter, shaping, warping, arranging. The beauty of the universe is always more than what meets the eye. Hidden halos guiding every curve. Around every galaxy lies a hidden halo, not of light, but of dark matter. These halos stretch far beyond the visible stars, unseen yet essential. They cradle galaxies, holding them steady, guiding their curves. Without them, spirals would unravel, stars would scatter, and galaxies would lose their shapes. Though invisible, halos are the quiet guardians of cosmic form. Halos are not delicate. They are massive, containing far more dark matter than visible matter. Our own Milky Way's halo may stretch hundreds of thousands of light years, vast enough to swallow many smaller galaxies within its reach. Yet it does not shine, it does not announce itself. It is there only in its pull, steady and silent. Astronomers discovered halos by observing how galaxies rotate. The outer stars moved too quickly to be explained by what could be seen. Something unseen had to be anchoring them, an invisible framework. That framework is the halo, wrapping galaxies in its embrace. It shapes every curve, even though no eye has ever directly witnessed it. These halos also interact with one another. When galaxies collide, their halos merge first, overlapping like invisible bubbles before the stars ever touch. The result can be new structures, new patterns, new arrangements, all shaped by unseen hands. The halos guide not only individual galaxies, but the grand architecture of clusters. So when you picture a galaxy, imagine more than what you see. Behind its spirals and arms is a vast hidden halo, curving space itself. The beauty of galaxies comes not just from their stars, but from the invisible guardians that guide their form. How stars outline. Invisible mass. Stars are our lanterns in the dark. They not only shine, but they reveal what cannot be seen. By tracing their motion, by following their paths, we uncover the presence of invisible mass, dark matter shaping their dance. Stars outline what lies hidden, sketching halos and filaments with their light. They are the ink, the dark matter is the parchment, and together they write the story of the universe. When astronomers measure a star's speed, they find something astonishing. Many stars orbit faster than they should, given the visible matter around them. It is as though an unseen weight pulls harder, keeping them in orbit. That unseen weight is dark matter, revealed only because stars outline its presence. Without the stars, we would never know it is there. Clusters of galaxies also reveal this trick. When light from distant galaxies bends around them, a phenomenon called gravitational lensing. The pattern of bending reveals the hidden mass within. Stars and galaxies outline shapes that eyes alone cannot see, giving us a window into the invisible. Light bends because gravity is stronger than what visible matter can explain. Even on smaller scales, stars reveal what is hidden. The orbits of stars around black holes show us the mass of those unseen giants. The tug of companions reveals planets that cannot be spotted directly. Stars are guides pointing toward the unseen, always outlining what lies beneath the surface. So while stars may seem like ends in themselves, they are also signposts. Every orbit, every curve, every pattern is a sketch of the invisible mass that arranges the cosmos. Stars shine, but they also whisper, "Here is where the unseen resides." Clues written in the motion of light. Light carries secrets. It travels across the universe, and in its motion, it encodes clues about the shape of everything it passes. When starlight stretches, we see redshift, a sign that the universe is expanding. When it bends, we see lensing, a sign of hidden mass. Light is both messenger and map, guiding us to truths we cannot touch. Every beam is a letter, every spectrum a sentence. The colors of starlight tell us the temperature, the elements, the age of stars. But beyond that, the motion of light reveals structure. Galaxies moving away leave their imprint in stretched wavelengths, showing us how the universe itself grows. Clusters bending light show us where dark matter lies. It is as if the universe has written its autobiography in light, waiting for us to read it. Sometimes the clues are faint, almost hidden. A tiny wobble in starlight may reveal a planet orbiting unseen. A subtle distortion may reveal a filament of dark matter. Even the cosmic microwave background, the faint glow left from the Big Bang, is full of tiny variations, fingerprints of the first shapes forming. Light, in its silence, is the most detailed historian we have. What makes this profound is its patience. Light travels for billions of years, carrying its clues intact, waiting for us to catch it. The beam from a distant galaxy left before Earth even existed, yet still tells us its story when it arrives. To observe starlight is to peer into deep time, guided by the motion of photons across eternity. So when you see starlight, see more than beauty. See the clues, the whispers, the maps it carries. Every flicker in the sky is not only a star, it is a message about the universe's shape, carried faithfully in the motion of light. Patterns repeated across scales. One of the most curious truths about the universe is that patterns repeat themselves. The swirl of a spiral galaxy echoes the swirl of a hurricane. The branching of cosmic filaments resembles the branching of trees or rivers on Earth. Shapes echo across scales as though the universe writes in fractals, repeating its designs from the small to the immense. Stars are part of this language, arranging themselves into patterns that echo everywhere. This repetition is not coincidence. Physics follows rules that apply across scales, and the result is similarity. Gravity shapes galaxies, but also rivers of dust. Turbulence stirs nebulae, but also clouds in our sky. The same equations carve beauty into different canvases. When we look at stars, we are also seeing reflections of patterns we already know, only stretched across unimaginable distances. The fractal nature of the cosmos suggests unity. The spiral arms of galaxies mirror the spirals of seashells. The networks of filaments mirror the neurons in a brain. It is as if the universe is telling us that everything, no matter the size, is connected by shared geometry. The stars are part of a larger pattern, not isolated, but echoing life itself. Scientists trace these patterns through simulations, and artists trace them through wonder. Both arrive at the same conclusion. The universe is not random, it is structured, repeating, harmonious in its complexity. To see a pattern in a star's arrangement is to glimpse the universal script, one that stretches from atoms to galaxies. So when you watch the night sky, imagine it not as separate from Earth, but as part of the same repeating dance. The stars are writing in the same language that trees, rivers, and winds use. Patterns repeat, and in that repetition we find unity. The fractal language of the universe. If patterns repeat, then the universe itself speaks in fractals, a language of endless echoes. Fractals are shapes that look similar no matter how much you zoom in or out. In the cosmos, we see this everywhere. Galaxies forming spirals like storms, clusters branching like lightning, filaments stretching like roots. The fractal language is not only visual, it is foundational. It is how the universe arranges itself. This language is subtle. You cannot read it like a book, but you can feel it when you see similarity across scales. A spiral galaxy and a seashell share the same curve, separated by trillions of miles but united in form. A cosmic web and a brain's neurons mirror each other, one vast, one small, both pulsing with energy. The fractal language speaks across domains, reminding us that the universe prefers harmony. Fractals also reveal efficiency. Nature arranges in fractals because they maximize flow, minimize waste, and create resilience. Rivers branch like veins, filaments like trees, galaxies like whirlpools. Stars, in their arrangements, follow the same principle: efficiency in balance, beauty in repetition. The fractal is not decoration, it is function. Even our own lives reflect this language. The breath of lungs, the branching of blood vessels, the rhythm of heartbeats, all fractal in essence. To know that stars arrange themselves in similar ways is to feel kinship with the cosmos. We are not apart from it, we are echoes of its geometry. So when you think of the universe, imagine not a cold machine, but a storyteller. Its language is fractals, its sentences are spirals, its paragraphs are webs. The stars are letters, and together they write the fractal story of everything. Quasars as beacons in the deep. In the distant reaches of the universe, some galaxies blaze with a brilliance that outshines everything around them. These are quasars, the brightest beacons in the cosmos. Their light can travel billions of years, reaching us from an era when the universe was young. Quasars are powered by supermassive black holes, swallowing gas and dust, releasing energy so intense it can outshine entire galaxies. They are the lighthouses of the deep night. The brilliance of quasars is paradoxical. At their heart lies darkness, a black hole devouring matter, and yet from that darkness comes overwhelming light as falling material heats up and radiates energy across space. This balance of shadow and glow creates the beacon effect, making quasars visible across unimaginable distances. They are both reminders of destruction and of light born through it. When we observe quasars, we are peering far back in time. Many of them shine from billions of light years away, their light carrying the record of the early universe. Through them, we see how galaxies formed, how black holes grew, how the cosmic structure arranged itself in youth. Each quasar is a window into the past. Quasars also influence their surroundings. Their radiation sweeps through galaxies, heating gas, shaping star formation, altering the evolution of entire systems. They are not passive, they are architects forcing galaxies to grow differently, to change course. Their brightness is not only for us, it is power reshaping the universe itself. So when you think of the darkest corners of space, remember that sometimes they hold the brightest lights. Quasars shine not despite their darkness, but because of it. They are beacons in the deep, guiding us to understand how the universe once arranged itself. black holes, anchoring the centers. At the center of nearly every galaxy lies a black hole, silent, invisible, yet immensely powerful. These black holes are anchors holding the galaxy together through gravity's pull. Without them, the orbits of stars would drift, the shapes would unravel. Though they swallow light, their influence extends far beyond, shaping the structure of galaxies on every scale. They are the unseen hearts of cosmic cities. Supermassive black holes grow by consuming matter, gas, stars, even other black holes. And as they grow, they affect the stars around them, altering orbits, guiding flows of material, shaping the galactic core. The galaxy is not simply a collection of stars. It is a system bound by its central anchor. The presence of black holes explains much of galactic behavior. Their immense gravity influences how stars rotate, how clusters form, even how spiral arms maintain their rhythm. We may not see them directly, but the galaxy's balance depends on them. It is like a whirlpool at the center of a vast river, shaping the flow of everything around it. Black holes are not only destroyers, they also create. Their energy releases jets of particles which can trigger star formation in distant clouds. Their presence stabilizes galaxies, preventing them from unraveling. The anchor is not simply weight, it is influence, arranging the galaxy in ways both destructive and creative. When you look at a galaxy, know that at its center lies silence, a black hole, unseen but vital. The beauty of spirals, the order of disks, the glow of clusters, all are held in place by an anchor of darkness. Without black holes, galaxies would not have their form. How darkness guides the stars around it. Though black holes are invisible, the stars around them reveal their presence. Stars orbit faster near the center, curving around something unseen. Their paths show us where the darkness lies. In this way, darkness guides, not with light, but with motion. It arranges stars into patterns, forcing them into rhythms that hold the galaxy together. The unseen becomes visible through the dance it commands. This guiding is not chaotic. Stars orbit in predictable paths, their motions tracing elegant curves. The galaxy itself becomes a map of the invisible, every orbit an outline of gravity's hand. Though we cannot see the black hole, we can read its story in the arrangement of stars. Even entire clusters are shaped by this hidden guide. The densest regions of galaxies owe their structure to the pull of the central darkness. In some cases, stars are flung outward, gaining energy from close encounters. In others, they are drawn inward, feeding the heart. Every motion reflects the presence of something unseen, arranging what would otherwise scatter. The guidance of darkness extends beyond black holes. Dark matter, too, shapes orbits across galaxies. Its invisible mass creates the scaffolding stars follow, keeping them from drifting apart. Without darkness, both in black holes and dark matter, the light of stars would be scattered, random, unarranged. The beauty we see requires the unseen. So as you admire the patterns of the night sky, remember this: stars shine, but darkness guides. Their light reveals beauty, but it is gravity, invisible and patient, that arranges it all into the shapes we love. Jets stretching into intergalactic night. Some black holes do more than anchor. They release jets, streams of particles that shoot outward at near-light speed, stretching across galaxies into intergalactic space. These jets can be millions of light-years long, carving lines into the darkness. They are among the most powerful phenomena in the universe, yet they emerge from silence, from unseen engines at galactic cores. Through them, black holes shape space far beyond their immediate reach. Jets influence how galaxies evolve. They heat surrounding gas, sometimes preventing it from cooling into new stars, other times triggering bursts of star formation. Their energy sculpts the medium between galaxies, carving bubbles, arcs, and filaments of glowing plasma. A single jet can change the course of a galaxy's growth, arranging its destiny through force alone. To see a jet through a telescope is to witness scale beyond comprehension. They stretch like cosmic arrows, pointing into the void, glowing with energy long after leaving their source. Some appear as straight beams, others twist and bend, shaped by magnetic fields. They are lines written across the sky, reminders of the immense power hidden within darkness. Jets also connect galaxies to their surroundings. They carry material far from the core, enriching intergalactic space with energy and particles. Without them, much of the universe would remain cold and quiet. With them, the cosmos is stirred, arranged into new shapes, energized in ways that sustain activity across unimaginable distances. So while black holes may seem like endings, their jets reveal a different truth. From the silence of darkness come streams of light and energy stretching into the night, arranging the intergalactic stage itself. Ripples of energy carving the medium. The universe is not still. It vibrates, ripples, resonates with energy. When stars explode, when black holes merge, when galaxies collide, they send out waves, not only of light, but of gravity itself. These ripples carve the medium of space, bending and stretching it ever so slightly. Though invisible to our eyes, they are real, detectable, and profound. The universe is alive with these subtle tremors. Gravitational waves, first detected only recently, are one example. They are ripples in space-time itself, created by massive events. Imagine the universe as a pond, and every cosmic collision as a stone dropped into it. The ripples spread outward, carrying energy, arranging the surface into patterns that extend far beyond their source. Every ripple is a message from the deep. These ripples interact with matter, shaping how gas flows, how galaxies evolve. Shock waves from supernovae compress clouds into stars. Jets carve cavities in interstellar gas, altering its structure. Even on the largest scales, ripples from early cosmic events arranged matter into filaments and voids. Energy is never wasted. It always leaves its mark on the medium around it. The presence of ripples also connects us directly to cosmic events. When we detect gravitational waves, we are literally feeling the universe move, sensing the stretch and squeeze of space caused by distant collisions. It is a reminder that we are not separate, but part of the fabric itself, quivering with the motions of galaxies and stars. So while the universe seems silent and still, beneath the surface it is rippling with energy. Stars, black holes, galaxies all carve their signatures into space. These ripples are the chisels of arrangement, sculpting the universe in ways subtle yet profound.